Hello everybody, welcome to round 3 of the Frostbite circuit opener. Of course, a tournament we've held here recently in the community online through Discord. And the feature matches continuing on here. We have Altergeist versus Plunder Patrol. One Altergeist in the playing field and one Plunder Patrol. So interesting to see these two decks squaring off. Plunder Patrol is a deck that was pretty hyped up upon its reveal, but really hasn't seemed to do too much. This will be actually interesting to I think this might be one of the first time Plunder makes its appearance on the channel as far as the duel video is concerned. But if you guys are interested in joining future tournaments, we will be holding more. I'll link to my Discord below, and I'll be streaming, the finals and stuff and any of the feature matches on Twitch when I can. So yeah, all the links to that down below. But Plunder going first here. Both decks are decks that really want to go first, both control-based decks. But yeah, Plunder is a deck that I've played against very little times, and I played against it on stream the other week from when I'm making this video now. Played against what seemed to be like maybe a bit of a different build. It was definitely a different player, I know that much. And it was actually, I was pretty hard-pressed to beat that deck, honestly, with even a deck like Infernoble. Granted, I did make a few mistakes, and he did have the right cards at the right moments, which obviously, doesn't help your cause in any way, shape, or form, no matter what you're playing against. But still a deck that I think has some decent potential, for sure. Definitely, I think it still needs a little bit more support. Their new fusion, Plunder extra deck monster definitely helps, but I still think it needs just a little bit more to push it over the edge. But yeah. Plunder ending on Blackbeard, a set card, and an Ash in hand to stop that Pot of Extravagance. So pretty important to have that card there. It's a great way to slow down the Altergeist deck or hitting the Malusik, whichever you really prefer. Although I feel like it's almost better in some cases to hit the Malusik, mainly because you're stopping a guaranteed direct search, whereas Extravagance is just kind of random. Yes, it'll net them into more cards, but will it be the cards they're ultimately looking for is another question, because, obviously Malusik, like I mentioned, will get you directly to that multi-faker, whereas Extravagance only has a chance at getting you to that multi-faker. So, Altergeist passing, and Plunder drawing and passing, and Altergeist starting their turn off now with another copy of Pot of Extravagance. No Ash Blossom this time around. But basically, Blackbeard does have a quick effect where it says if you can target one effect monster you control, special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. And if you do equip that target to it, then draw one card. So this card could come in pretty handy in this particular matchup, because Altergeist does play some varying attributes, but unfortunately Malusik here being summoned off that 1-for-1, discarding a Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill, is also a water attribute, so really not a whole lot you can do with that there. I mean, you could tag into another captain, but tagging into another captain doesn't do you a whole lot. Activating the Plunder Patrol Booty, which I believe is going to actually change attributes here. I think either a monster on the field or in your possession, but either way, it doesn't matter. Cosmic Cyclone being followed up with that. Paying 1,000 to clear that off the field to make sure it doesn't go through. Making sure he's unable to quick change into something like Brawn or Mork, which do have nice interruptions effects. I believe Mork, the Xyz monster, can discard a Plunder card to banish a spell or trap. So it's a pretty solid card. So the Malusik will go through on that direct 500 attack, and it will send a card on the field to the graveyard. It does not target, or it does target actually, but it does send. It doesn't destroy. That's the one, unique thing about it, I guess. It does target, but it doesn't destroy. It just sends. So getting rid of that shipyard, feeling that is the biggest threat on the board currently. Was gonna link off into what looked to be like a Linkuriboh play there, but we are 2 Extravagances in. I believe our Altergeist player is playing 3 copies of Linkuriboh in the extra. So, I mean, but it is likely that he banished all 3 copies, and it looks like as he ends his turn there, he does not have a Linkuriboh left, which is not super surprising considering, again, 2 Extravagances have been resolved. One which was Ash, but there's a Pot of Desire successfully going through, banishing 10 from the main deck. And normal summoning what I believe is Whitebeard, and revealing a Bluebeard in the hand to summon out of the board, I believe, while you control a Plunder Patrol. monster. So getting some board presence here, but our Altergeist player still does have 4 set back row, which could be pretty devastating, considering the trap-heavy lineup that Altergeist is. But it looks like we're going to see either a synchro play here or Link, but it's going to be a synchro none other than the Plunder Patrol ship Brawn, the Fire. All the Fiend monsters you control gain 500 attack, which I think all Plunder Patrol monsters are Fiends. You can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card, you can then target a spell or trap card your opponent controls, banish it. So Brawn is the one that has the spell and trap removal effect. I got it mixed up with the Xyz monster, but either way, pretty good card to have in this situation. You can start picking off some backer. I believe the Bluebeard Engrave resolving, allowing him to discard 1 and draw, I believe after being sent to the graveyard. And then I believe the Whitebeard Engrave activating to summon out, I believe, the Bluebeard from the deck. Again, I'm not super 100% familiar with Plunder Patrol. I really only know the extra deck monsters, but that's really about it. I really don't know too much about each individual card and what their effects are. But that's really one of the benefits of the deck, as the Meluseek adds Altergeist Multi-Faker to the hand. And there's an Imperm, so Imperm Faker going to be set up middle of the battle phase here. So never too late for an Imperm Faker. But Brawn tries to activate here before it can be Impermed, and it's met with a Solemn Strike. Old man say no. That Multi-Faker is going to come out onto the field, and he's going to get Silk Bounce. Silk Bounce is always very, very annoying. You know, they say, Silk Bounce me one more time, Margaret, and I'm going to break your hips. That's how the saying goes, and it's like that for a reason, because nobody really likes being Silk Bounced. I don't think there's ever been a single person in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's enjoyed that Silk play, because it is very, very frustrating, especially when you add Conquery and Protocol and Manifestation on top of all of that. It's just like quicksand sometimes. But Plunder unsuccessful in truly trying to break the field there. And it looks like Silk will be activating to try to bounce back one of the monsters on the Plunder's side of the field. And also, of course, in the process, sort of recycling Faker. And Blackbeard trying to activate. And Protocol is just going to send away the Silk to say no. And in the process, he's just going to get Faker to resolve one more time. So, unfortunately, it's not looking too good for our Plunder Patrol player here. It does not look like he had the best opening. I've seen better openings from this deck. I've seen better plays being made, but again, he might have just had the unfortunate sort of circumstances, you know, working against him and not having opened the best hand. But Altergeist seemingly opening very, very well. The deck, as we know, is very, very consistent, even more so, obviously, with the help of Faker going to 3. Opening up that Imperm Faker a lot more. So we're going to go to battle phase, and the Bluebeard is going to be run over by the Multi-Faker, taking a whopping 700 damage. And main phase 2 here, you could see a Link summon, but I feel like his options in his extra deck are very, very limited at the moment. So no surprise there. They're just going to pass it back over to Plunder. And with Plunder not having too many resources, there's not much, you know, that can be done. But he's actually going to be discarding for Golden Hair in the graveyard, which is, if it's in the graveyard, you can discard a card from your hand and special summon it. I thought here he was using Valor to try to negate Multi-Faker, but it can't even be negated because of Protocol. And I just thought he was trying to use Valor, which he technically couldn't. So I just want to point that out, because that is why you see me typing in the spectators chat, saying like, hey, that you can't do that. You can only Valor during your opponent's main phase. But he was just trying to pay cost for the Golden Hair in his graveyard, the newest Plunder Patrol. Yeah, be able to negate it though with Protocol. Send off Meluseek, grab Marionetter, and Marionetter gets normaled and goes and grabs another copy of Protocol. So yeah, I'm just trying to repair the game state, but lo and behold, it actually doesn't need to be repaired. I'm just dumb and don't read cards. But yeah, so Marionetter sending off that other Protocol, feeling safe about doing so, since, you know, it's just basically got another one from deck to get the Meluseek back onto the field. And he's going to swing in with 16 and 12 for a total of 2,800 damage, dropping down to 4,000. We're going to see a Link 3, and it's still surprising he still has a copy of Selene in the extra deck, which is huge. 4 spells in the Altergeist player's graveyard, and I believe 4 more in the Plunder player's graveyard, as the token or the counters rack up on the Selene to a total of 8, and then he can basically remove counters and you know, revive one from his graveyard. And he's going to add Conqueri off of that Malusik, which is good for battle phase protection. So we're going to see him remove 3 now, and he is in main phase 2. Which is unfortunate, because if he wasn't, I imagine we'd see an access code talker immediately and just punch in for a game. So if our Plunder player doesn't have anything here, I imagine if he's still got it left, and the only reason I would think he would go for the Selene play if he still had an access code left in the extra. And I can confirm he does have 3 in the extra deck, so still likely to have this play. So he's going to flip up that protocol in the end phase just to trigger Faker. I don't think Faker is summoning anything from the deck, because it looks like he doesn't want to get locked into anything, I imagine. But I mean, at this point, it really doesn't make too big of a difference. The game is 99% sealed here. It's just a matter of how our Altergeist player is going to close it out. I imagine we'll see access code, though, just because access code is pretty much a guaranteed key to victory at this point. We're going to see 3 more counters being removed off the Selene, and that's just going to get Malusik back on the board so he can get another search before he goes into access code talker, and that is going to be at 5,300, and I imagine, yep, that's going to be game, and Altergeist takes a 1-0 lead. But I want to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. They just came out with this brand new Solemn Wars playmat featuring Witch's Strike and Solemn Strike. It is a gorgeous 2-player cloth playmat on their amazing King's Road material. Guys, this playmat is absolutely beautiful. I'll be showing it to you guys in a video very, very soon. Hands down, has to be my favorite playmat by them so far, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it and show it off to you guys and show it off in tournaments. But if you want to get it for 10% off, you can use that discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save a little money on that absolutely gorgeous playmat. And of course, if you're buying anything on TCG Player, do not forget to use my affiliate link to TCG down in the description below, because any revenue generated from your purchase, a small bit of that will go right back into the channel to help do what I do. So it is greatly appreciated. But yeah, that playmat, I saw them post that announcement on Twitter, and I was like, man, it's been a little while since I've seen a playmat that's got me that excited, because all their playmats are pretty great, but this one in particular really struck me, you know, no pun intended. Is a really absolutely gorgeous playmat. I love the theme behind it, and it's a lore-based theme. Obviously, the lore between Solemn Strike and Witch's Strike, and it's a trend they'll be continuing on into other playmats as well, so stay on the lookout for that if this one doesn't quite pique your interest, but I don't know how it couldn't. It's just so gorgeous. But either way, we're going to see Whitebeard into Bluebeard, a standard little 1-2 combo, and we actually saw Phantom Knight's Cloak, yeah, I believe, no, Phantom Knight's Boots in the grave, which he is actually playing a small Phantom Knight's Engine, which is pretty interesting. So he'll get a nice copy of Fogblade to the hand, and you know, it doesn't hurt to have a little extra resistance with these Plunder boards. So ending with Blackbeard and Redbeard on field with the field spell, feeling pretty good, but oh my, you hate to see it. That is a Lightning Storm, revealing not only 1 but 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, that Fogblade, and unfortunately the field spell to go along with it. And to make matters even worse, a Malusik shows up onto the field. Man, Lightning Storm, such a blowout there. You hate to see it. And it looks like we're going to see Blackbeard tag out for Blackbeard. Might as well do it to get an extra draw before Malusik removes that possibility entirely. So just like I said, might as well cash in on that draw while you can. He'll take 500, and of course he's going to send off that Blackbeard to the grave, and leaving him with only Redbeard, and with a fully loaded extra deck where you could possibly see a Link Karibo play, which is going to lead to a Search of Faker or Conqueri, whichever he does not have at this current point. We could go for something like Marionetter. You never know. But it looks like he's going to set 2 and end his turn. So no Link Karibo play here. Probably not feeling the need to do so, which is interesting, because usually we see, you know, that play just to grab the Faker right out of the gate. But opting not to do it Shipyard tries to activate, and there's a Cosmic Cyclone of his own firing off to get rid of that. Just really rough so far for our Plunder player, but having a copy of Whitebeard for the normal. I don't really think it does anything on normal summon. It just says during the opponent's turn, quick effect, you can special, yeah, which is basically a standard effect of all of the, I believe most of the main decked Plunder monsters have that effect where they can basically summon one out from the extra deck by targeting, I believe, a monster, you know, with a different attribute and summoning one from the extra deck and something along the lines of that. But it looks like we're going to see Protocol. That's going to get Faker out on the field alongside Silk. So now having a bounce and a monster negate at the ready. If he clears the Maluseek, you know, he gets a search out of it in the process, which is obviously really, really good. But yeah, Whitebeard says during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. And if you do, equip this card to it. So basically, they can just tutor out any of their extra deck monsters at any given point, which is pretty nice. But he's going to run over the Faker, and then he tries to run over what looks to be the Maluseek, I believe so, and it's going to be met with Kunk, and that's going to negate and drop it to 0, and then we're going to see Silk bounce back Conquery to bounce Redbeard, so that doesn't even have a chance to attack. So really great resource management by our Altergeist player here, and yeah, Redbeard having the same quick effect that Whitebeard does, and I believe most of them have that effect except for Bluebeard and Golden Hair. I believe it's only the Whitebeard and the Redbeard that have those tag out like effects. So passing over to Altergeist, and must be nice starting with that copy of Extrav to get him 2 cards further into his deck at the cost of 6 cards from the extra deck. I'm not carrying too much at this point. Still leaving him with a little bit of stuff to work with in the extra deck here. Not going to need too much, really, to take full control of this game. Altergeist, of course, is not really a deck that can OTK, but it's sort of it's a slow beatdown with this style of deck. Very, very beatdown-oriented strategy. So Maluseek going to do what it does, swing in for 500 direct, and going to remove a card in the process, of course, if the attack is successful. And I also want to take the moment right now just to say I hope you guys are enjoying these feature matches. I know they're all online and they're not nearly as good as the locals feature matches that I've been able to bring you guys in the past, but I still hope you guys are enjoying them nonetheless. A lot of great players, a lot of interesting strategies to be shown off here, and a lot of other great feature matches on the way, all the way through the rest of Swiss rounds and through all of Top Cut. So thank you guys for watching and sticking through this. I really do appreciate it, and again, hope you're enjoying it. But looks like the Whitebeard goes through for Mork, and Mork tries to activate, and that Protocol is going to negate it. And looks like the Fogblade getting sent off by the Maluseek. And of course, you can't negate the Maluseek because of Protocol being on the field. And linking off that Maluseek for Almirage, grabbing Marionetter, and then normal summoning Marionetter for a copy of Manifestation, which I believe is played at 1 in this Altergeist player's deck, setting another back row as well. And I think that may be it for his turn. So yeah, passing it back over to Plunder, and drawing his last pathetic card. And he's actually just going to end turn right there. Maybe thinking he can survive one more turn, but Manifestation gets flipped up, and that is going to do it. So, Plunder losing 2-0 here to Altergeist. May or may not be, you know, business as usual, but Plunder is a pretty decent deck. Don't get me wrong. I've seen the deck do really, really strong things, especially with Lice, the new, or Liss, whatever you want to call it, the new Plunder Fusion. Very, very good card for the strategy. So, yeah, hope you guys are enjoying these feature matches, as I've said in the past. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And as always, WinnerKill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, a huge shout out to my Divine Level channel members here on YouTube, keeping this thing going. Academic Thick, Travis Harris, and Zors. Thank you guys so much for continuing to generously support the channel. Of course, it is absolutely greatly appreciated. Again, thank you guys so much.